So in today's video, I'll be installing this RedTiger Dashcam. It's a front and rear dashcam. It's the F7N Touch, and I'll be installing it on this 2024 Toyota Corolla Nightshade. However, this applies to any car that's looking to add a aftermarket dashcam. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to unbox it, tell you a little bit about the camera, show you the mounting points, how to tuck in the wires, and hopefully this will be helpful for anyone looking to do it themselves. So out of the box, it comes wrapped like this in shrink wrap. Again, it says RedTiger at the top, hard casing, F7N Touch, and again, it says the product features 4K, Starbus 2 front camera, goes 5.8 gigahertz, Wi-Fi 6, and it's voice control. It's a 3.1H IPS touchscreen in the back. That's why it says F7N Touch. The other version of F7N without the touch is going to be a non-touchscreen. You can just use the hardware controls on the side, but I thought this would be a little nicer to have. And let's go ahead and open it up, take off the shrink wrap, and I'll show you guys what's in the box. So this is pretty much everything you get out of the box. It comes in a very hard, well-packaged box, similar to the packaging of Apple, really hard shell box that you don't have to worry about both front and back, so it's actually quite nice. And then this is your main camera. This is actually what you're pretty much buying. It's branded RedTiger in the front, and this has the Starbus 2 Sony camera, so it's a dual wide lens camera that is in 4K. If you flip it over, this is the touchscreen. Obviously, it's not on yet, but just kind of gives you the controls. You can use the up buttons, the down buttons, and the mode buttons. There's also a power button here and a memory card slot for 128 micro USB or micro SD card, sorry. But this is the touchscreen, so you can actually use the touchscreen in here. You just power it on with the power button, and you're using the touchscreen. Or you still can use these hardware controls on the side here. You can see up, down, and mode button. So that's what you have to use if you don't get the touch version of the F7N. But because this is a F7N Touch, you'll be able to use the touchscreen. I'll show you guys that after we do the install. Again, this is the model number, serial number, all that stuff in the back. But this is the main camera that you're actually picking up. Now, it does have some nice features, 5.8 gigahertz Wi-Fi 6. It has some GPS tracking when you're driving, has some voice control, but mainly the bread and butter is the camera because it captures it 4K in the front. Has some pretty good night vision from what they say. But and I've installed this on my mom's car. Now I'm just installing it on my car because I thought it was a pretty good, pretty affordable Amazon camera. And I found it had better reviews and more purchases than some of the other brands. This is the mount, and so this is pretty much a suction cup mount that you're going to turn. Once you lock it in, it's actually going to be able to fully be secured, but you're also going to connect it here, which seems to have a GPS nodule on the side of the mount, and so that's kind of where they put that extra hardware there. The wiring harnesses, you get two of them. Each one is different, but also important. So the rear camera is also its own separate wiring harness. So this is the rear camera here. It's a 1080p rear camera, so it's not as powerful as the front. Obviously, if you tint your windows, it's going to be a little darker. It does have night vision, but you know, it's going to block some visibility there. Gives you some cable clips to install on the back just in case the cable droops a little bit. But we'll see if we can tuck that in, and we'll see how minimal we can use these clips here. But this is the rear camera. You're gonna install it dead center to the top of the rear windshield because this is the camera that actually can move around. So that's the nice part there. Pretty much it's a double axis port. You can disconnect this and it's going to connect to the front of the camera. So you can see at the top here, this is where you're going to connect that little mount, but this is the rear access point, and that's where you're going to connect this here. I'll show you guys that when we do the installation, but That's pretty much it. So you're going to have to tuck this wire, and it's going to move from the back windshield all the way to the front on the driver side of the car. Now, let's take a look at the other power cable. So this is the power supply cable with the car charger. So this is going to go into the cigarette lighter or the power port, pretty much a cigarette lighter. And once you plug it in, you're going to see a light here. It does give you access to plug in a USB. So if you're a person that uses a USB connection, you can use this. Sometimes you have dual ports, so you do lose some features there. But it's a USB-C connection, and this wiring harness is going to run along your passenger side from your main windshield, and so it's going to connect here. So pretty much that's how it's laid out. If you do choose to have 24-hour parking mode, that's the feature they try to sell you. There is a caveat. The kit that they sell you here does not come with the hardwired cable to do this. They give you the power supply to the cigarette lighter. So you're going to have to buy that, and I think it costs about $20. I'm not going to show it in this video. If people are interested, I can show you how to convert this power supply version into the hardwired cable. There are two ways to do it. It's actually the OBD2 port version, or you can actually connect it to the fuse box. But if you don't do that, you're not going to get that 24-hour parking mode that they try to advertise to you. So last but not least, right over here, I've laid it out. It's pretty much the user manual, but most importantly are these electrostatic stickers that they give you. They give you 3 of them. You're definitely going to need 2 of them. Actually, they give you 4 of them, so that's good. You're going to need 2 of them for sure. You're going to need 1 for the rear, and you're going to need 1 for the front. And then I guess they give you extra if you decide to change your mind on the location. You can have an extra electrostatic sticker. But basically, they'll tell you to clean the area, and then you're going to take this electrostatic sticker, remove it, stick it on the windshield. It's going to stay there. And then you're going to stick these points, either the suction mount or even this little sticker here. You're going to stick it on the electrostatic sticker. So it's not the most elegant looking thing, I would say. I mean, you still see, if you can see really close, it has the swirly cutouts. You really don't notice after a while, but when you first install it, you're like, what is this thing? It's going to stay on the car for a while. But I guess this promotes adhesion, so it just makes it like stick better, etc. But that's kind of what you have to work with. So the other thing, it gives you an app book. It's app controlled, so you're gonna have to download the app, RedTiger app, to set it up. And then you have this quick start guide, short instruction manual over here. And then this gives you a nice pamphlet or sheet that gives you an overview of everything that I just pretty much showed you. So you have the USB port here, the rear camera, the suction cup mount. So if you don't like the suction cup, or you find the suction cup if it keeps falling off on you, you can, and they give you 2 of these red adhesive 3M tape stickers where you can permanently mount it. Now, I recommend you using the suction cup for now, just to determine the location that you want your front camera, because that's the thing, like, you might change your mind after a few months or a few weeks once you get used to it, or based on like where it's projecting or capturing some of the content. So wait for a little bit, and if you feel like it's falling down, it's not strong enough, and you're set on the location, you could use these little stickers and stick it there. Now, that's the nice thing. It gives you 2 of them, so you like stick it on and you decide to change it, you'll have another one there, as well as they give you 2 more of these electrostatic stickers just in case you change your mind. So that's pretty much it. If you need the memory card, it's 128 gigabyte. Download that content, just press in, take it out. It's a RedTiger branded micro SD card, and you just put it back in when you're done. It auto writes, so basically it's going to write over the content once it fills up the thing. You can get more storage, but I feel like this is enough, especially for a camera that you don't care much about. So let's go ahead and get started with the installation. I just wanted to show you like everything that you get out of the box as of this moment in 2025. The box got a huge upgrade. I got my mom the F7 Touch, and it did not look like this when it was boxed in. So they made a lot of great enhancements to the packaging. I kind of like it so far. All right, so we're inside of the car, and you have to decide at this point, if you're the driver, where do you want the dash cam and how do you want it to be placed in your car? So there are different options. First, like I mentioned, you could use this suction cup method, which is fine as well. The other option is to use some sticky 3M adhesive. And at that point, it's just kind of stuck there unless you choose to take off the adhesive. And there's different locations. Like if you prefer to see it in view, you can put it in the center here and you can see things there. If you want it out of the way, you might have to mount it a little higher. You can mount it on this little bumpy kind of textured area too, but not with the suction. You have to use the 3M tape. And this rear side of the sticker, if you have tint on your window or you have tint on your rear, it's good to use this electrostatic sticker to protect your either your windshield or your tint, depending on what you're doing, but it's totally up to you. And so next you're going to take the power supply cable and you're going to try to determine where your car or cigarette lighter is. This is a 2024 Corolla, and I think all the new Toyotas are relocating the power supply or car cigarette lighter, but usually it's on the bottom here. This is nothing on the bottom anymore. It does have a USB port here, but it's no longer there. So the power supply is going to be in my middle box here, the armrest box, and there's a 12 volt 120 watt connection here. All right, so you're just going to take that power supply or that cable and connect it to the cigarette lighter. You can see it's inside now. It actually gives me an extra USB port. I have some USB-C here. The nice thing about the Toyota is have these indents here, which allows cables that you kind of tuck in there to not be frayed or kind of like hit from this armrest. But now I have this cable, and I'm going to unravel the cord and just run it along the side. As you can see, I'm just going to take it down and just run it along the side here. I'm not going to tuck anything in yet. I'm just kind of just getting enough length just to get a guesstimate on how much I'm going to use. So at this point, I've run it along the bottom here. You can see it's just kind of running across. I haven't done anything yet. I just kind of left it like that. And it's going to actually be tucked inside of this interior rubber insulation trim here. And it's going to go through the top, come around here, and it's going to be connected to the mount. So now I'm going to go ahead and connect it to the USB-C port, and you can see it is connected right there. I plugged it in. I haven't done anything else yet, but we're going to just check for power right now. So you can see I've turned on the car. The RedTiger is loading up. You saw the splash screen there. You got to double check for English and then press OK. And then there's the OK button here. All right, and once you set the time zone, you pretty much have the camera on. It's already recording. You can see it's at like 10 seconds counting up, and it's continuously recording while the vehicle is on. Because this is the F7N Touch, you can touch the screen. You have all the controls that you can navigate. As you can see, you just took some pictures there. You can use your voice by looking up the commands. This little main menu here lets you access the video, the playback, and the settings. And you can do all that in the app as well. As if you have it on, you connect your app to the RedTiger front camera. You can pretty much adjust the settings from the app itself. All right, so it's a good idea to actually plug in the camera to and test it with power, just to determine what you see through the camera. And after placing it here more visually, I decided not to put it because it butts up with this kind of a Toyota EyeSight casing and rear view mirror casing. So what I actually decided is, instead of putting it here and you see a little dark spot there, or I can point it down but you see more dash, I could move it here and I'll still be able to see it from the driver's side, but I decided to move it just right on this plastic piece. This doesn't really mess around with your Toyota safety sense camera. It's just a casing for it, as well as the wiring harnesses and the rearview mirror. If you look at my other video on installing this, you'll see that there's really nothing back there. And so I'm just gonna install it here, and what it's gonna do, it's gonna be dead center. It's not gonna get in my way, but I'm gonna also tuck the wires above there, and it won't actually be so bad. All right, so once you have it installed in the location you want, now you can actually work on tucking in the wiring harness. And let's go ahead and do that now. You're gonna take your cord and you're gonna start to tuck it in the top part of the headliner. And for me, I could actually just stick it in there. But if you are having trouble, you'll notice that there is a little hole here made for like a little wire that's not being used. So that's the nice thing about Toyota. They actually put a hole in their headliner, as you see there. But now I'm just kind of tucking the wire as I go along. So you're gonna still get a little wire around here. You can, of course, use those little plastic clips to tuck them in or make them like look neater. But this is not bad for now. And what I'm doing is I'm just still moving it across, as you can see. And I'm not even using the plastic tool yet. And now I've gotten to the point where, as you can see here, I've gotten to the SRS airbag. It's still falling out just a tad bit, but that's okay. The next thing I'm gonna do, if you can see what I'm doing here, is I have this plastic tool, and what I'm gonna do is start to pull out this rubber trim here. Pull it out gently, and you just need to pull out a little bit, and then to reinstall it, you're just going to push back. But right now, we just need to remove it along the side where the A-pillar is, and these plastic places here. Keep in mind there's a SRS airbag here, and you don't want to disturb that too much. You could disconnect your battery if you're worried, but we're not doing too much here. And I'm pretty much pulling the plastic trim all the way till I get to this bottom plastic panel here. We don't need to take that off, but what I'm going to do now is, once I get the cord as far as I can along this headliner, I'm going to just move this plastic piece here. You can see that. You can see that white piece there is your airbag, and what you're going to do is just kind of keep the cord along here. It's never going to really obstruct with the airbag itself. And now what you're going to do is just tuck it in, as you see there. So I have it on this side here, and now I'm just going to use that little plastic piece, that trim they give you, and just push it through just a tad. And what I'm doing is just pushing it along so that it actually tucks in. So I have just a little bit on this corner here. Some people choose to leave it, but we can actually just pull it up a little bit, and now it just tucks in completely, as you see there. You see a little on the corner, but you'll never look on that part. I actually use it as an anchor so it doesn't actually wrap too much around anything. And we're going to tuck it between this little hinge here, this little plastic area, and I'm just going to move it along till it gets to the bottom of the A-pillar. There you go. A little bit more light. What you're going to do is you're going to take that cord and just tuck it underneath here. And let me show you what I'm doing. So you can see, just got to tuck it around this panel here. Hard to see, but I'm basically going to move it along to the bottom of the glove box. Now if you can see, I'm trying to get my light going, I'm just going to actually have it go through the trim, on the bottom of the trim here. Some people just go right underneath the passenger mat, carpet mat, floor mat, but you still have a wire going this way underneath here, and so I kind of like it tucked in a little bit more, and so I'm gonna guide it as far as I can. So if you can see here, I actually moved out that plastic trim with my hand. It's connected by those two little clips that are in orange. And what's nice about that is now the cord goes directly under. Doesn't really get in the way at all, except with this USB cord here. And now I'm just going to tuck it directly under. And I'll probably just leave the cord right here at that angle. And if I need to do adjustments, I can pull, but you don't really see much. It's just a little tiny cord. Goes all the way through the back here, as you can see. And it just tucks in with this rubber area here. And at this point, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cover it up. And I'm just gonna push it all the way along until it's completely tucked in. So let me show you guys a little recap of what I've done really quickly. I've pretty much tucked the wire into the headliner. For Toyotas, they have an automatic hole here that allows you to tuck the wire in, and then you run the wire just along the top. There's a little bit of gap exposed, at which point you're gonna have to go around this A-pillar. Just be careful not to wrap around the SRS airbag, but just along the trim here. And what I've done is actually kept it within this plastic clip here, which basically holds it in place. And then I bring it along the side, and it's gonna just stay in there as this rubber liner just comes back into the metal frame. And I tucked it all the way down up until this plastic trim here. And if you follow me to the bottom, the cable is just here, so you can either zip tie it, which I might do, or you can use those little sticky clips that they give you in the box. But this has a hole here, so it's going to be easy to zip tie. And then I basically move this trim. So if I put a little pressure here, it released the plastic cable or plastic trim through those orange clips. I ran the cable down this way, and when you lock it in, you don't really see much. And then I ran the cable through the bottom until it got to this bottom section here where the chair is, at which point it just plugs in here. There's a little cable area here. It just goes down. That's the only visible section that you see through the box there. And it's probably one of the cleanest ways to tuck in your wires for a dash cam in your Toyota. So hopefully that was pretty cool. I think it was. And let me show you just how to tuck the wire back, or this little plastic trim in. It's pretty much, you're just gonna put pressure every 6 inches and just run your hand across so that it just clips back into the metal frame there. This is your weather seal for your door, and you just kind of slightly removed it so you can tuck the wire just in between. The weather seal is connected back. Looks perfect. Just running my hand across it again. And as you can see there, door still closes perfectly fine. The bottom is pretty much wireless. This is just a USB cable for my phone because there's a USB-C port here. That's all just standard for Toyota, but the dash cam wire is just like that, and it's tucked in. And it's not going to move from this place because it's connected by a headliner. If you don't have that hole, you can just tuck it in and just keep it there. It should be fine. But that's it. That's how you do your front dash cam. So earlier I mentioned I just use a zip tie, so I'm going to do that now. But you also have these plastic clips that RedTiger gives you. You can take off the adhesive, stick it on any plastic panel, and you could run your cord through that. For me, I don't really want to use that just because I think I can get it a little bit cleaner. So there's a connection here where I can actually stick the cable in, as you see there. And there's just a zip tie in black. And I can just zip tie it here, and the cable won't come out and get in my way. Let's zoom back out. As you see there, cable sits here. It's just gonna stick in place. I'm just gonna put one for now. I don't think I need more. You can actually put multiple because there's these extra hinges here. But since I don't need to do that, I'm just gonna stick this on and just clip it off with a scissor. All right, so I've clipped it with a scissor right here. And then I've just tucked it in like that. So the cable is a little bit loose. You can put another one there if you want to, but I don't think it's gonna hold. I don't think it needs another one. And that's pretty much it for that part. So let's go ahead and do the rear camera. So for the rear camera, you're just gonna make sure you clean the area around it where you're gonna mount it to. And I'm just gonna press the electrostatic sticker down. So at this point, you can go ahead and take off the sticker here and get the adhesive ready. And then you want the RedTiger facing the outside because you want the cable running towards the driver's side. So you're gonna flip it this way and you're gonna mount it dead center. So I'm using this headliner pin in the center. There's 3 of them for the Corolla. And I'm using that as my center marker. Or you can measure, but I'm pretty much gonna stick the RedTiger logo outward towards the outer part of the windshield and the non-logo side towards me. There you go. And then I'm gonna twist the camera forward. And you can adjust the camera angle later, but you can twist this and have it go towards you and take off the sticker. So with the rear camera mounted, I'm just bringing it around the back seat headrest and then just bringing it through the interior here. And I'll meet you guys at the driver's seat. And once you find the hole, you just insert it in place. And now go ahead and test out the rear camera. So turn on the car again. And we haven't tucked the wires in on the rear side yet. Quite a bit of things turning on right now, but you see the RedTiger in the middle. All right, and you can see the front camera's working. And if you swipe to one side to the left, you can see that the rear camera is showing. You might want to angle the rear camera a little bit. Let me go ahead and go back there and adjust it. Okay, so it's a little bit better. I've angled it upwards, and so it's not obstructing, but you can always adjust the angle up and down for the rear camera. And as I swipe left and right, you can toggle between. So this is a mode where you can see the front camera and the rear camera. I might just keep it at that. But we just wanted to test if the camera worked, but we have all these wires everywhere, so let's go ahead and fix that. So now that we have this, the reason why I didn't tuck the wires first before I connected it is because I want to tuck it from the front of the car. So we're going to tuck in the rear camera wire. It's already connected to the front. And if you remember from before, for the Toyota headliners, there's already a hole cut out at the front here, and allows you to tuck a wire in and run it through the top. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I'm going to stick it in. First, I'm going to stick the wires in, starting with the front wire, and just run it along the headliner. And now I'm going to check if it went in the hole, and it did. I'll show you guys that again later once it's finished. And same deal that I did before. We're gonna remove, just pull and slowly tug on this area here, which is just the rubber insulation for the door. And what we're gonna do is bring it around. So if you can see here, we're gonna actually wrap it around this top part of the side A-pillar, and we're gonna run across the top here, go around the back side, and then we're gonna do the same thing here. And I'll start to remove it right now as well. Basically, I'm gonna pull the rubber insulation on the corner here, so I reveal this whole section here. You can see that the headliner runs on this side. There's some more airbags on there, and that's what we have so far. What I'm gonna do is just do the same thing. I'm gonna go on this side and just tuck the wire in slowly where it just sits on the plastic trim. There you have it, just sticking right there at this point. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stick the wire in between those two plastic notches there. Looks like that is been created for, I think, just for a wire. And so that keeps it in place. And now we're just gonna run it along the side portion, as you see there. And what I'm gonna do also while I'm running it along is just start to put the insulation back into place once the wire is in. And I'm gonna sit on this side real quick. And you can see that there's this whole section here where the airbag, or where the seatbelt is, not the airbag. And I'm pretty much gonna expose this again. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna tuck the rear camera cord back here as well. Let's see if I can get a better light so you guys can see. There you go. And all I'm doing, and I've been using my hand, but you can use this orange cord here. Just remove this out of the way. Lets you start to pivot this whole section here forward. And there you go. Now I'm not done yet here, so we're gonna come back to that. But right now, let's go back into the rear side, and now we're gonna tuck the wires back there. And I'm gonna tuck this back here a little bit, and you can see the insulation's mostly in place. I just need to finish that section. All right, so I've tucked the wires up into here. I've moved it along the side, and then now I've pretty much brought it to this section here. And now all I'm gonna do is just fold up these wires and tuck it into this cavity on this side. See here, I have the wires kind of bunched up back with the cable tie. And inside here, there's a cavity, an excess area with no electrical area. It's just bolts. So what I'm gonna do is just tuck it in. And what you'll see me do is just, I'm doing it with one hand, but you can see how easy it is just to throw it in there. There's all those extra cords and stuff. And it just sticks right in. And so you can see all those cable ties sitting there, right? And I'm just gonna tuck this wire in. And now let's put the insulation back. Insulation, you're just gonna follow along. Just make sure you press it every few inches. And you're just gonna send the cable just right underneath that insulation. And this should just protect, there you go. This should just fold in. Just make sure the rubber seal is intact and just send it back up. So you just want to give this section a push to pop it back in place, the panel. And now it's sitting pretty flush. Rubber seal. You can see that the rear camera, I moved the cable along, went around this section here, tucked a bunch of cables here, and you can see that it's placed in the front. So that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and take it out for a test drive. So I went for a quick test drive, and it looks like everything's working as intended, both the rear and the front camera. Now, if you find the video distracting, you can just swipe to a clock setting, which tells you the current time. Or there's a mode where it's only just a black screen. It's still recording from the red dot, but it doesn't get in your way. Swiping to the left allows you to see different view modes. This is the view mode with, as you can see there, it's the view mode with both rear and front camera, but I find it pretty distracting. But I just wanted to test if everything's working intended and nothing turns on. But everything's good to go, and thanks for watching.